Hi everybody, thank you for joining me today. The focus of the card that I'll be making today are these beautiful Chloe and Tristan butterfly dies from Memory Box. For my card base, I have an 8.5 by 5.5 piece of Neenah Exact Index that I just scored on my Martha Stewart scoreboard at 4 1/4 for a standard A2 size card. It's 4 1/4 by 5.5. Then I'm going to take some Distress watercolor cardstock and I'm just going to moisten that a little bit with my Ranger Mister. Now I'm going to take some Color Burst and I'm going to be using the Ultramarine Blue first. And this stuff is so cool. I totally love this. You can spray your paper first and then tap the powder over it, or you can put the powder onto the paper first and then spray, and it makes the powder run like watercolor. It's just really cool. And then I'm going to be using some of the violet, and I'm just going to spray my paper a little bit to really get those colors moving. I didn't have enough water on there to begin with, but that's okay. I'm just going to dry that really quickly with my heat tool. And I was a little heavy-handed with the violet color. There were a few places where the powder was just kind of like a little blob. It hadn't gotten very runny, so I just sprayed my paper again to get the color moving. And then while my paper was wet, I decided to add a third color. I'm just tapping on a little bit of the phthalo green. I didn't want a whole lot of green. I wanted this mostly to be the blue and the violet colors. So again, just drying that with my heat tool. And out of this, I will be cutting the solid image of the butterfly. That's the Tristan die. And I'm using my Cottage Cuts Universal Shim Plate just to make sure that I get a really nice clean cut through that cardstock. And then I'm going to take a piece of vellum to cut out the outline of the butterfly, which is the Chloe die. And at this point I thought I might put the vellum body over the watercolored body, but I just decided to use the watercolor body for my butterfly. So I'm just going to take a little multimedia mat and put a little bit right on the body area of the butterfly. I didn't want to glue down the wings. I wanted those to be loose, to kind of like, flutter in the breeze. I thought that looked really pretty and delicate. Then I'm just going to use a little more of the multimedia mat to glue my butterfly's body onto him. Just going to set that aside so I can do the next part. I have a stack, the shimmer stack from Die Cuts with a View, and I chose a light blue sheet from that. And I'm taking my corner chomper on the 1/2 inch setting and just rounding the corners. And I cut that down to 4 1/4 by 5.5 so that would fit right on the front of my card. Now I'm just going to glue my butterfly down using a little more of that multimedia mat. And I just put the glue on the wings. I did not want to glue the body of the butterfly down as well. I just love how the vellum wings look like they're fluttering. I think that looks really neat. So now I have this stamp set from Papertreyink, the Bitty Butterflies, and I have a Kaleidocolor stamp pad here. This is the Blue Breeze, and I love these stamp pads. You get, I think it's 4 or 5 different colors in one ink pad, and you just push them together and you get an ombre effect when you stamp. And the sentiment that I took from the stamp set says, "May you always be brave enough to fly." And then I decided to just cut the bottom off of that distress watercolor background that I made in the beginning, just to make a little background for my sentiment there. So I'm just lining that up to see where I need to trim that to. Those scissors are from Tonic Studios, by the way. I love them. They're really nice and sharp and they cut really well. So on the sentiment, I'm just going to flag the ends, just cut up the middle of the paper a little bit and then cut from the corners, and you get a really nice banner or flag. Then I was trying to figure out how to fit that little strip of the watercolor paper onto the card without taking away too much from the butterfly. So I did trim that again several more times until it was a size that I was happy with. And then I went ahead and did, I cut the end to look like a banner, just on the one side, because I wanted the right hand side of that to fit on the card just so. And then I decided that I was going to take my corner chomper and round the corner on that so it would just fit perfectly right down in the corner of my card there. So I'm just going to take some more of that multimedia matte and glue that watercolor strip down to the bottom of my card. And because I cannot make a card without using some Wink of Stella, I took my clear Wink of Stella brush and went over my sentiment just for a little sparkle. Then I'm going to take some square foam pieces from Recollections, and I'm going to use the larger size just so my sentiment has a little bit of dimension. Now I'm just putting some double-sided adhesive onto the back of my butterfly piece there so I can adhere that to my card base. And I really don't like that kind of adhesive. I don't even know why I bought it. It must have been a mistake because I tried to avoid that kind. Now I'm just trying to get my butterfly onto my card base straight. I almost always put those on crooked, but this one turned out pretty well. Now I'm going to take some pearl necklace sequins from Lucy's Little Things, or Little Things by Lucy. And I didn't want any of the stars or the really, really small or the flat sequins, so I tried to pick out some of these, I guess they're medium-sized, the cupped sequins. They were really sticking to me. Just taking my quick stick from We Are Memory Keepers and some more of my multimedia matte to adhere those sequins to my card. And then I decided to take a smaller size of the opaque sequins and glue those into the center of the sequins I had already put down. And in hindsight, I wish I hadn't done that. I wish I had just left it the way it was, but whatever. And I decided to move the sequins over just a little bit more. I thought it was too close to the other ones. So I just scooted them over to the right a little bit. And I added another sequin down to the left of the butterfly. Now I'm going to take the rounded rectangle stitched dies from My Favorite Things Dynamics, and I have some more of that light blue shimmer cardstock, a piece of vellum, and some Nina Exact Vellum Bristol. And I'm taking the largest die, and I'm going to cut the vellum and the shimmer paper out at the same time. And then from the Nina Exact Vellum Bristol, I'm going to take the next size die and cut out a little smaller piece. And this is going to go on the inside of my card. So I'm just going to glue my piece of shimmer cardstock down first. Found my clear tape runner this time. And for the vellum, I put my white cardstock under that just so I could see where I was going with my adhesive. I didn't want any of that to be sticking out on the sides. Now I'm going to take my Kaleidocolor stamp pad again and one of the butterflies from the Papertreyink Bitty Butterfly stamp set, and I'm just going to put a little butterfly down in the corner on the inside of my card. Ta-da! It's so pretty. And for one final touch on the envelope for my card, these are just some envelopes that I have from somewhere, I don't know where, but I have this decoration tape with butterflies, so I decided to do just a strip along the bottom of the envelope. And that is going to finish up my card for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you are inspired to create your own butterfly cards. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe. Have a wonderful day!